Hi everyone, this is Reed Sandlins from Accord & Company. Thank you for coming to join us today to learn more about GCPay. We're just going to give it a few more minutes so that folks can continue to join the webinar, and then we'll get started. Thank you. All right, so good morning and welcome. This is Reed Sandlins from Accord & Company. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar from GCPay titled Automate the Payment Application Process with GCPay. Our presenters today are Christina from Sage and Sabrina from GCPay. Before we get started, we just want to address a few key housekeeping items. At first, everyone is muted for a clean listening experience. Second, if you have any questions, please type them into the questions box. We will collect your questions and address them together at the end of the session. And then the third thing, for the best viewing experience, be sure to maximize your screen. And then lastly, today's webinar is being recorded and a link to the recording will be provided by email. With that, I'd like to now turn it over to Christina.
Hello, and thank you so much, Reed. I appreciate that introduction. Let's go ahead and share out my screen. I just want to make sure we're showing the right screen here. All right, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yeah, yes. I can, Christina.
Perfect, thanks so much. All right. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining. Again, my name is Christina Snagrov. I am the customer account manager here at Sage, and we have with us today Sabrina Katz with GCPay. Sabrina has been with GCPay for a very long time now and is very affiliated with this technology. So if any questions come up along the way during today's presentation, I have her by my side to be able to assist with any of those questions. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So again, just as Reed said, today we're learning about GCPay and how we can simplify the application for payment process. So for those of you who have not heard of GCPay, GCPay is a cloud-based platform for managing the subcontractor pay application process. I love GCPay's founding story. So it was right around 2003. There was a construction auditor who happened to be the founder of GCPay, and his job was to go in and audit commercial general contracting businesses. And after doing this for a few years, as you know, the paper chasing process, the paper pay apps back and forth, the lien waivers are just such a mess. He was like, there has to be a better, process than this manual way that my clients are handling the pay app process. So luckily for him, his brother-in-law was a software engineer. So they teamed up in 2003 to create GCPay. And really, it was just for their clients that they were auditing. But then quickly, one general contractor talked to another, and it spread like wildfire with everyone saying, yes, we would also like a better way to automate and streamline our pay app process. So fast forward 17 years later, they now have over 45,000 companies on the platform. Last year, they did just a little under 30 billion in contracts and are currently managing projects in all 50 states and Canada. So why do companies, choose GCPay? I would definitely say that number one reason is that integration into your Sage platform, eliminating any of the additional hand keying or that double entry. Subs, they can easily submit their billings right in the platform. Your appropriate approvers are all automatically notified, completely eliminating those back and forth emails, bogged down in inboxes, and just again automating that entire pay app process. GCPay will completely eliminate any possibility for a sub to overbill line items or contracts or make any sort of math mistakes. Part of that direct integration includes automatically pulling over approved change orders from Sage. So this will eliminate your team having to hand key them and also ensuring that subs can never bill for an unapproved change order again. You'll never have to deal with missing lien waivers. Your custom lien waiver is generated automatically in the platform every single time. There's no need for you to create the lien waivers or worry about there being any errors on them. They're perfect every time. GCPay does come with an internal routing and approval process, which you can customize for each job, and GCPay will streamline that entire compliance process. You can automatically notify subs when their insurance is about to expire. You can stop subs from billing if they haven't updated their insurance. All right. So GCPay was recently voted #1 construction accounting software on G2's review site. They received a satisfaction score of 94%. In their winner report, GCPay received top honors in 17 different categories among easiest setup, fastest implementation, best support. Customer reviews, Capterra is a third-party review site. Here are just a few reviews that I gathered. There's over 120 positive reviews. These are all Sage users. Again, what we like to point out, it's extremely easy to use, excellent customer service. Again, the workflow in GCPay is simple and easy to follow. Again, reviews around the support, which I think that you'll find, again, very, very common whenever you see customer reviews. There's always something talking about how great their support team is. You can see here, I've never seen a tech support department that was more available, more responsive, and more knowledgeable on any software I've ever used. From day one, there we go. From day one, the support to get the system up and running and keep it running every day has been great. Again, I'm incredibly impressed with GCPay's responsiveness when placing a call for support. I don't believe I've ever waited more than 2 minutes for someone to answer my call. So again, lots of great feedback in regards to the level of support that GCPay provides. Now, if you're wondering, what are the subs saying? Recently, GCPay sent out a survey to over 40,000 customers for sub feedback, and just over 5,000 subs responded, stating that they rate 4.3 out of 5 stars, 83% stating that they're very satisfied using GCPay. And one quote that I like in particular from one of our subs, it's simple, it's easy to use, it saves me time. Previous pay applications are easily accessed. I'm able to communicate with the GC as I submit a pay application. All the waivers and forms are standardized. I wish all GCs would use GCPay. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears, and I am going to jump into the platform. All right, Sabrina, can you still see my screen here?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, great. So what I want you to first notice here is I am just on a web browser. GCPay is where you'll go to log in, and same goes for your subs. So let's go ahead and log in. So again, being a fully, cloud-based platform, you are able to log in with any from any location, any device, as long as you have internet. Again, this will be the first, homepage that you're going to see after logging in. We can access different areas of the software under quick links. Of course, any, recent news or updates under the recent news section. Now, again, because we have a direct API integration into your Sage platform, you could just come here to start a new project, and we'll be able to pull a list of all of your active projects in Sage. Now, of course, for today, I did go ahead and start a project for us under Ridge Lake Business Center. So again, all the information that you see here, the project name, the project number, the location, was all automatically pulled in from the information that you've already entered into Sage. So again, no hand keying. This will also be the same information used later on to automatically create those lien waivers. All right, scrolling down under users. So users can be added at any part of the review process. If you have, let's just say a default user, someone that needs to be added to every single project, you could simply come up here to the company level settings and make sure that you have Jeff added as a default user. So again, this user will be automatically added to every single project every single time. Now, any of those variable users, maybe the project managers, project admins, you can simply select add user and select those variable users from your employee list here. All right, now drilling into the user, this is where we get to select the role permission settings for each user. So we get to select, whether this user is responsible for reviewing compliance documents, or someone who's reviewing all the lien waivers from your contractors, or perhaps, project managers that will edit the project settings and add companies or other information to the project. You get to set up as many reviewers as needed. You can then select the review order. So you get to select whether this goes to Sabrina and then Reed and then Megan and back to, Sabrina. And then I do love to show the advanced options here. Perhaps you have an owner or CEO who only wants to be a part of the review process. If, let's just say an invoice were to come in over a certain dollar threshold, then if it did come in, that reviewer would only be notified at that point. All right, great. So now just coming up back top here, I'm just going to scroll along to the next tab under project companies. All right. So project companies is where we're now going to go ahead and invite the subcontractors to this Ridge Lake Business Center project. As you can see here, I've already added one subcontractor, Jackson Heating and AC. We can come up here to add company, and we can just simply go ahead and type in the name of the subcontractor. We can type in their EIN number. And then once we add them to the project, they will receive an email letting them know that they have been invited to this Ridge Lake Business Center project. All right, so just moving along here, I'm just going to now scroll over to the compliance tab. So again, having that direct API, oops, am I missing something here? I'm so sorry, Sabrina. As you can see, I'm missing, it's actually the commitment tab. It looks like this project hasn't been linked.
Yeah, I see that. Give me 1 second. I can try and help in the background.
Okay. While she's doing that, I'm going to scroll over to the compliance tab here. So under the compliance tab, again, we're going to have a direct integration into your Sage platform. So any compliance, items that you have in Sage along with the expiration dates would be listed under the compliance section here. Of course, because we need to link that project, it's not showing, but as soon as she fixes that, we can hopefully, show you exactly what that looks like along with those expiration dates. Again, what's really nice about the compliance piece in GCPay is that GCPay will automatically notify your subs 30 days prior to their expiration date, as well as the day of. So again, no one on your team will have to be manually, tracking the subs and then notifying your subs, waiting for those updated insurance documents to come back. GCPay will do all the tracking and notifying for you.
Hey, Christina, sorry, it looks like none of these are connected, so just give me a couple minutes.
Okay. All right.
I would say maybe go over the dashboard.
Okay, thanks, Sabrina. Okay, perfect. So as Sabrina mentioned, so we can access, our projects via the project tab here, or we have access to the dashboard. And the dashboard gives you, high visibility to everything that needs your attention all at once. So again, if you're an admin on, the project, you'd be able to toggle between all projects. So that way you can see everything that's happening, across all projects within your company. We can come in here here, we can see everything that's been submitted. We can take a look at any outstanding waivers, or maybe any of the lien waivers that has been uploaded and we need to review. Or we can come in and take a look at any of the compliance items. We can see all of the sub-insurance items that have expired here. So again, we really gamified it for, your team. We can see anything red with a number is what needs your attention. Anything green and 0, of course, you're good to go. So we make it very easy, giving you a, high level of everything that needs your attention all at once. And let's just say, for your project managers, maybe they only need to see what's happening, for their projects, right? They would only have access to the My Project tab here. They wouldn't have access to all projects. And again, under their role permissions, if they're not responsible for viewing lien waivers or compliance, then their dashboard may look, a little different. So again, what's really nice about the dashboard is it's completely customized to only what needs your attention. So you can come in here and just see everything that needs your attention all at once. All right.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then Christina, I think what maybe the best thing would be to do right now would be maybe to switch over to Sage 100. Just log in.
Oh yeah, I can definitely do that, and then create a project really quickly.
Yeah, I just created one for you. It's just a Accordant webinar project.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone, but this way, I guess we always show Sage 300. We never show Sage 100. They're basically the same, so it's good to just, show.
Exactly. Thanks for setting that up so quickly. Okay, and so basically we're just at the section right here where we're just adding, again, we've already done this as you saw, but again, we're doing it once more, adding our subcontractors to the project. So we're just, again, typing in the name of the sub. Great. And then this is the tab that we were talking about. So this is the integration tab that obviously you'll have once that integration is installed. So flowing over to the integration tab, this is where we're going to be able to link your commitments that you've already entered into Sage. So this is going to give us a full list of all of your commitments that you have active in Job Cost. Now, because we've already added the subcontractors to this project, GCPay is smart and is able to automatically link those commitments to those subs. So this way we can add those commitments all at one time. All right, now bringing in those commitments here, we're able to bring them in either way, meaning your schedule of value. So if you're breaking out the schedule of values in Sage, we can bring that commitment over with all that line item detail, as you can see here. In this example, Beaverton Painting has just been notified that their schedule of value has been created and approved. They can go ahead and start their billing. For Jackson Heating, we're going to have the sub break out the details for us. So they've just been notified that we've brought over the commitment and that they need to go ahead and detail the schedule of values. So let's go ahead and do that next. So logging out, I am logging back in as the Jackson Heating and AC sub. We can go to our projects here, or we can go to our dashboard. So as I showed you earlier, you as a general contractor and all of your users will have a dashboard, and same goes with your subs. So your subs can come in here, they can see everything that needs their attention. They can see that project, Accordant webinar project, looks like a schedule of values, and we'll go ahead and hit edit. All right. So as you can see here, we make it very easy for your subs. They know that their schedule of values that they add into GCPay must total that commitment value of $177.65. So they cannot overbill any contracts. So they can come in here and they can add line by line item detail, or if they already have a schedule of values, in an Excel or a CSV file, they can simply upload that here. All right, there we go. So the schedule of values has been added. Of course, it totaled up to that $177.65. Looks good. We can now go ahead and hit save. All right. Now, as you can see here, the submit button is grayed out. So it looks like the general contractor is requiring that a couple of items come along with the schedule of values. Now, for today's presentation, I did want to show you the optional ACH feature. Again, totally optional. You can turn ACH on for your, sub by sub basis, project by project, or just continue paying via paper check. But of course, let's go ahead and just show you what this looks like for the sub. It's just letting them know that we did turn on ACH and that we just need to go ahead and select the bank account in which we want to get paid into. All right, great. The next item here, it looks like we need to submit a wage and rentals agreement. So again, we're just showing you all of the functionality that you have in GCPay. If you don't require, any additional documents to come along with their schedule of values, then you don't have to have any requirements set up here. But if you do, maybe certified payroll or maybe some other, custom document that you would like to come along, you can make that required here. All right, so we submitted our wage and rentals agreement. Now we can go ahead and hit submit. All right, so next, as you can see here, what the compliance looks like for your sub. I showed you what compliance looks like as, for the general contractor, but for your sub, you can see in this big yellow box, outstanding compliance issues. Again, highlighted in red is the compliance tab, and you know that they have already been notified via email 30 days prior as well as the day of. So multiple ways that GCPay is notifying your subs about compliance. They can come into the compliance tab, they can see all of the required compliance items that are needed. They can hit upload and simply upload all of those updated documents. If you have any of your low-tech subs that are maybe still faxing or emailing those items to you, they can simply download this cover sheet. They would be able to email this cover sheet in along with their compliance items or simply print it out and fax it in with those updated items. And this QR code will automatically link it to that compliance item here. All right, great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to now log out and I'm going to log back in as that general contractor so I can review the schedule of values that was just submitted to me by my sub. So again, I'm just going to come here into my dashboard. I can see under submitted that project, it looks like Jackson Heating has submitted their schedule of values. So I'm going to go ahead and hit review. All right, so scrolling down, we already know that our subs cannot overbill or underbill contracts, so we know that the value is correct. We're just making sure that this is as detailed as we need it to be. We can review those, additional documents that we requested, make sure it's the right document, hitting review here. Now, if I was to, for instance, reject this, maybe it's not as detailed or maybe it's not the correct document I requested. Notice I cannot hit reject without adding a comment here. So this is really just to help your subs from being blindsided. If you do in fact reject anything, they'll receive an email with your comments letting them know why it has been rejected. So they can easily come into GCPay, revise what's needed, and then resubmit to your team. All right, so let's go ahead and approve. Okay. All right, great. So now that we've approved that application for payment, the schedule of values, let's go ahead and hop back into the project. What I want you guys to notice is that this project is now highlighted in red. So opening this up, we can see that the integration tab is highlighted in red. So basically it's letting you know that something needs your attention. So as you can see here, Jackson Heating and AC, and we have that schedule of values that we just approved. But what this is telling us, this schedule has an unmapped contract item. This is telling us that a change order has just come through. So GCPay and Sage talk to each other every 30 minutes, which means if you approved a change order in Sage, it will automatically flow into GCPay 30 minutes later, no hand keying whatsoever. If I scroll down here, we can see change order number 1, $20,000. If I was to sit here and do nothing for the next 20 minutes, you would see this change order automatically added to the bottom of the schedule of values. Alternatively, we know that there's times that we need to push them through sooner than that. So let's go ahead and click on that, hit save. And there we go. That change order has now been automatically added to this approved schedule of values. So 2 key things here. No hand keying. No one at your company will be hand keying these in. Your subs are definitely not hand keying these in. They flow in straight from Sage automatically. Second, these are the only change orders that your subs can bill against, which will eliminate any possibilities for subs to bill for unapproved change orders. All right. Great. So let's go ahead. I do want to show you, we have company level settings as well as project level settings. So if we need anything set up just specific to this project under project level, project settings, we can set up those custom settings. So if you have a billing due date that you want all of your subs to sub billings to be into you by, you can select that date here. Second, GCPay will automatically send billing reminders 7 days prior to this billing due date. So no one on your team will have to be manually reminding your subs of the billing due dates. GCPay will handle that for you. Second, this option here, this was actually a customer requested feature. You are able to close out the month after the billing due date. So let's just say if a sub did try to submit their billing to you on the 30th, it would tell them it's automatically being pushed to the following billing period. We've heard really good feedback because apparently it only takes one time and your subs are never late billing again. All right, scrolling down under lien waivers. Of course, I know lien waivers are definitely important for your team, so I'm just going to spend a few minutes going over how they work in GCPay. All right, first, your team would send us all of your waivers in Microsoft Word format, your conditionals, unconditional, partial, final, state specific. After that, GCPay's team does all of the heavy lifting. They'll upload all of your waivers and tag them so that the correct county and owner, start date, billing numbers are all automatically generated. No need ever again for your team to be manually customizing waivers for every sub. After they're uploaded, any of those standard waivers will automatically be added to every single job. Now, if you have any project-specific waivers, you can simply select Add Lien Waivers, and you can select those variable lien waivers from your lien waiver bank here. All right. Great. So now you get to also customize how you want to trigger each waiver. So just clicking into the lien waiver here, you can see here that you get to select if you want the waiver required before submission, once approved manually. You also get to set up whether this is a partial, unconditional, or final. The system's smart and knows when to trigger that final waiver. And then lastly, you get to select, whether you require notarized lien waiver or if digital signature is okay. Okay. All right. And of course, you can require any additional document. As you can see here, that wage and rentals agreement, if you have any custom document, you can set them up here. You also get a trigger, or customize how you want to trigger those to come back to you. All right, great. So let's go ahead and get to the fun part. I'm going to now go ahead and log out. I'm going to log back in as that Jackson Heating and AC sub so I can go ahead and submit my billing. All right, so let's go into my projects tab. All right, there we go. Okay, and then we have the Accordant webinar project here. Let's go ahead and open that up. All right, so we already approved that schedule of values. So now you can see the next item, application for payment. The green create button is highlighted, so we can go ahead and hit create. Now, I'm not going to bore you with retainage, but just know we're going to pull in retainage just how you have in Sage. However, you as a GC control retainage, you can change retainage throughout. GCPay does support multiple types of retention, standard, variable, frozen, the locking and releasing of specific line items. So again, as a GC, you control retainage, you can change that as needed. All right, so scrolling down, so before we talk about what a sub can do, let's briefly discuss what a sub cannot do. So the cost code, the item number, the description, the schedule value, or if this was my third or fourth billing, any previous billing amounts here, I cannot touch. All I can do is enter a dollar, a percent, or stored material. So let's go ahead and just start entering some values here. Whoops, there we go. All right, so as we start entering the value, you can see, the percentage is automatically calculated. We can go the other way around and put in a percent here. Again, dollar amount automatically calculated. Let's just say, 15% here. We did another 10% here. What if we say, okay, I know that this is 10,000, but I think I deserve 12. Notice GCPay will not allow your subs to overbill. Even if we were to try to put in, 1 penny, GCPay will not allow your subs to overbill the line item. So you can rest assured that your subs are not able to overbill line items. They're not able to make any sort of math mistakes. All the percentage, the percent of retainage is all automatically being calculated for your subs. We make it very, very easy. Let's go ahead and put in a number here for stored materials. Again, if you don't allow for the billing of stored materials, then you just wouldn't turn this feature on. So they wouldn't even see this column. But for today's presentation, I of course want to show you all the options that you have within GCPay. So scrolling down, you can see that the sub is given, a very transparent summary of exactly, all the numbers, exactly what would be paid if approved. Let's go ahead and hit save. All right. Great. So notice, again, the submit button is grayed out. It looks like there's a couple of items that need to come along with this invoice. So if you are tracking those tiered vendors, those third-party suppliers and vendors, just know your subs are going to be asked to report. So if they didn't have any tiered, vendors or suppliers, then they would just simply hit no. If they do, they would hit yes. And I'll show you here, it'll take them to this liabilities tab where they can go ahead and add those third-party vendors. They can type in the description of work. Oops. They can put in the contract value and amount due this period. As soon as you approve the application for payment, GCPay will automatically email this tiered vendor that tiered waiver, which they can go ahead and sign. And then of course your subs can re-upload that waiver back into the system and your team will be notified to review. All right, so the next item here, it looks like is a checklist. So again, this is totally customizable. We're showing you all the options you have in GCPay. You can have this turned on or off. The verbiage is completely custom. Most of our customers have this turned on and say something around, if you have outstanding or expired insurance and your payment will be delayed, your sub has to physically check this, and this will show up on the audit trail. All right. So it looks like stored material. So again, because we did put in a value for the stored material column, GCPay is smart. It knows that we require backup to come along. So this was automatically triggered. So again, this verbiage up top would be completely custom, based on what backup that you guys require. We can require up to 10 different items here, whether that's pictures or insurance or invoices. For today's example, we can just go ahead and upload some pictures of those air handlers. All right, those pictures have been uploaded. All right, now last, it looks like we have some lien waivers. So I'm going to show you how your team can require lien waivers upfront from your subs, ensuring that you'll never again have to spend time chasing them down. Now, again, I highly doubt that there's going to be a situation where you're going to ask for 3 lien waivers upfront from your subs, but I wanted to be sure to show you the whole breadth of options. Now, the GC here is requiring 2 conditionals, as you can see. It looks like one which has to be signed, which can be signed digitally, one which has to be signed notarized, and then it looks like we have an unconditional which we can sign digitally as well. So first, let's go ahead and start with this conditional waiver, which we can sign digitally. So just pretend that this is, your lien waiver in your style, your font, your layout. What's important is everything that you see in bold. The project name, the GC name, the billing amounts were all automatically generated from the info that came over from Sage or the billings that you approved. Again, no hand keying. We have 80 of these custom tags. So again, that your team will never have to spend time manually customizing lien waivers. Now, I can just go ahead and click sign document to sign this digitally. And you can see how easy it is for the subs to sign, and now it's dated. Our digital signature is good by UETA guidelines and fully legal as a wet signature in all 50 states. All right, great. So next, let's take a look at that conditional waiver that needs to be notarized. So if your sub has a notary in their office, they can simply just download it, get it notarized, and re-upload it right back into GCPay. Alternatively, we have a partnership with notarize.com. During the pandemic, it was heavily requested by subs to have a notarization option that didn't require them having to go into a bank or a post office. So notarize.com will open up a Zoom screen and a notary on the other side will online notarize the waiver and it will be automatically imported back into GCPay. We negotiated a max wait time for notarize.com of 5 minutes, and online notarization is legal in all 50 states. All right, I'm just going to simply upload that notarized waiver here. Okay, great. Now, lastly, you can see here that the GC is asking for an unconditional waiver. And you may be wondering, why would a sub, ever sign an unconditional or final waiver before payment? The key here is that I have GCPay's optional ACH feature turned on, which guarantees receipt of final or unconditional waiver. So first, let's just take a look at that waiver. As you can see here, it's just your normal, standard unconditional waiver. Now, look what happens when I sign. Notice, now the waiver has a watermark all over it that says unofficial copy. This is the key for your team on how you can ensure that you're never chasing down a waiver again. Since the ACH is being utilized, we're going to take the funds from your bank account, and the second that the money clears your sub's bank account, we will then release this waiver back to the GC without the watermark. So in real life, your sub is being told, yes, while I'm submitting an unconditional or final, it will only be a watermarked version that the GC can view, and only once the funds clear their account will the official waiver be released back to the GC. This is leaving both parties completely protected. Your subs get paid quickly. The GC doesn't have to store any banking information, and it guarantees receipt of waiver every single time. All right. Great. So now that we've fulfilled all of those required items, we can now go ahead and hit submit. Okay, perfect. And I do just want to show you all of the application for payment invoices will be automatically generated in that standard AIA style. So as you can see here, we have your G702, the G703, along with the audit trail. All right, great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to log out and I'm going to log back in as the GC so I can now go ahead and review and approve that pay app. So again, just scrolling into my dashboard here, we can see under submitted, it looks like they have Jackson Heating and AC has submitted that application for payment. I can now go ahead and hit review. So I can scroll down here. I can take a look at all of these required documents, make sure that that backup for the stored material was in fact those air handlers and not, their family tropical vacation. Now, if I was, let's just say, a project manager and I was, walking the job with my tablet in hand, I can come up here and say, just show me current billings, get rid of all the noise. I can take a look at that summary. I can see exactly what is due if approved. Now, again, hitting review here, I can go ahead and hit review and approve. All right, so we have now approved that invoice. So the next step here, we can come up to Sage 100 tab, and then we can actually, with the click of a button, we can import this approved application for payment directly back into Sage. We can click, one by one. We can click all. It doesn't matter. Basically, you'll just hit this export button. That application for payment will automatically be imported back into Sage, and it'll go into AP new file where it will create the invoice for you. So again, if you're paying via paper check, you would just continue to pay as you're paying today. Alternatively, if you are utilizing the ACH feature, I'll show you what that looks like here. So we can now just go ahead and hit the ACH tab here. We can go under payable. There's that approved application for payment. We can hit create batch. All right, and there we go. And we can see the status of that payment is showing as pending. So again, you'll have up to 2 Treasury officers, and only the Treasury officers who will have the ability to release payment. So again, you get to control when you're releasing that payment to your sub. So if you're only paid when paid, you can come back here and release that payment when paid, and then your sub would be paid within 2 to 3 business days. You as a general contractor will be notified, letting you know that the payment has cleared your sub's bank account. So again, you would then be able to come back up to your lien waivers, and you'd be able to take a look at that unconditional waiver, and you would be able to confirm that that watermark has been released. All right. And then just know we do have company level reports as well as project level reports. So we can come in here and we can, pull a report to take a look at current billing statuses. We can take a look at, any compliant issues across all of your jobs, or, let's see, any outstanding approvals, see where the bottlenecks are. The monthly cost bundle report is where we can actually compile a report of all of those invoices. So we can choose, which month and how many, months we want to go back with or without retainage, include any of the additional documents, and then we can hit email me the report. That report will be in that AIA style, again, automatically generated in that 702. You have your 703, the audit trail, any of those, lien waivers or additional documents, maybe some of that backup for the stored material compiled into one, nice bundled report. All right, and that is pretty much GCPay in a nutshell. I do have just a couple more slides. Let me pull this back open. Okay, there we go. So what comes with GCPay? So GCPay will train both you and your subs. Your onboarding manager will assist you with creating your custom lien waivers, tagging all of your lien waivers, and making sure that GCPay is fully, set up and customized to how your team will be utilizing GCPay, so it's ready to go. Again, GCPay supports both you and your subs 24/7. GCPay has a English and Spanish support team, and again, true 24/7 via phone, email, and chat. So never again will you ever have to deal with fielding your subcontractor questions about invoicing. They are trained to contact the GCPay support team directly. And again, unlimited users. You can have as many users on the platform that you need to be a part of that review process. All right, and that was all I had to show. So again, if you guys are interested in learning more, if you would like to, set up a call, I'd love to be able to set up a discovery call with your team. We can also set up a customized demo with your team. Please be sure to reach out to your Accordant rep who can assist with getting that scheduled. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate all of your guys' time today.
Hi, Christina. We do have a few questions in the chat, and I just wanted to remind everybody that we will be sending a recording of this webinar out at the end of the session. So do we have a couple of questions, Christina?
Perfect, yes.
So the first one is, can compliance be updated in GCPay and send it Sage 300 to update?
I can answer that one, Christina. That's a great question. So the way we say it is that Sage talks and GCPay listens. So basically, we'll pull over all of the compliance with those expiration dates straight from Sage on both the project and commitment level. So then the sub will update their insurance in GCPay. The way it works though is because Sage only listens, you would just go in, update that new expiration date in Sage, but then it would go and update it in GCPay. So all you have to do is, once you get the compliance, update that date in Sage, and it will all be automatically updated for the following year in GCPay.
Great. And another question, can other documents be added as a compliance item, i.e. requiring a certified payroll?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a full customized compliance and just customized document section. We have a lot of customers that do certified payroll, COI, things like that.
Okay, great. And another one, Do images of the invoice get sent directly into Sage when the invoice is exported?
Great question. No, so it's just the pay app data that gets imported directly back into Sage. It'll go into AP new file and actually create the invoice for your team in Sage. To get that image, there's a couple different things you can do. Right in GCPay, all the images are saved. So we have a lot of customers that can go in, they'll just drag and drop it into their Sage account. And then customers who are using like a TimberScan or a Sage paperless, they also can drag and drop those into TimberScan or paperless. And then we are putting the finishing touches on our integration with TimberScan, which should be done by early May. So if you have TimberScan, it will be able to import the images right into TimberScan for you.
Thanks, Sabrina. We have one more. Any Procore integrations?
Great question. So about half of our customers are Sage Plus Procore users. The really nice thing is that because both Procore and GCPay integrate directly with Sage, what happens is, for instance, you'll put your change order into Procore, it'll flow right into Sage and then into GCPay. You don't have to do anything, there's no hand-keying, you don't notice anything happening behind the scenes. So we don't integrate, I guess, directly with Procore, but as long as you're using Sage, you'll be able to get all those contracts, change orders, everything from your Procore account into GCPay. Like I mentioned, about 50% of our customers use Procore in Sage and GCPay.
That's great. That was the last question we had. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have any further questions, please reply to the recording email, and we be happy to help you out. And we hope you all have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.